morning and welcome back to This Day in Alternate History. I'm Jason Adams.
And I'm Merle Lafferty. Today is August 31st, 2007, and on this day in 1864, Union General William Tecumseh Sherman launched a massive assault on Atlanta, Georgia. The Civil War had not been going well for the North, with General Ulysses S. Grant's Army of the Potomac making little progress against Confederate General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. It was the hope of President Lincoln that the capture of a major city in the heart of the Confederacy would turn the tide of the war.
Grant had given Sherman the command of the Military Division of the Mississippi, which consisted of three separate armies. The Army of the Cumberland, also known as the 501st, was composed of 60,000 men and were well known for their distinctive white body armor. The Army of the Tennessee consisted of 25,000 long-haired wild men who fought with daggers and curved swords. Lastly, the 13,000-strong Army of the Ohio was a scrappy band of soldiers best known for their signature brown coats.
During the summer of 1964, Sherman's armies began to fight their way from Chattanooga, Tennessee through northern Georgia to Atlanta. They clashed with Confederate forces dozens of times at places like Rocky Face Ridge, Pickett's Mill, and Peachtree Creek. With every battle, the legend of Sherman's forces grew. For example, the 501st became known as Stormtroopers after the thunderous sound their battle armor made as they marched through the Georgia countryside. The Army of the Tennessee fought with such fury that many who faced them in battle swore they were an army of demonic monsters. To this day, according to local folklore, you can still hear the shouts of "Kapla!" echo through the forests of Kennesaw Mountain.
As Sherman and his armies marched on, they attracted a large group of newly freed slaves and Union sympathizers. These followers began emulating their heroes by fashioning crude replica armor and prosthetic foreheads. At night, they would recreate recent battles for the amusement of the troops, and although General Sherman was at first skeptical of these costumed plays, he couldn't ignore the morale boost they gave to his combat-weary men.
Sherman's forces captured Atlanta on September 2nd, and the city was evacuated, largely to escape the blaze that was beginning to engulf the city after the retreating Confederate forces set fire to their military installations. The conquering armies paraded through the city as the remaining locals looked on with fear and disgust. However, when the army's followers arrived, disgust turned to amusement as the cosplayers were eventually accepted into the community, where they helped to rebuild the city. These events are still commemorated in downtown Atlanta every year in the last weekend in August, with the parade and other various Civil War reenactments that, for some reason, has been known as DragonCon. I'm Merle Lafferty.
And I'm Jason Adams. By the way, we're going to take the next week off to recover from DragonCon and to work on a few special projects, but we'll be back with new episodes on September 10th. Thanks again for your continued support of Tada, where we put the story in history.